The day I heard this term, I knew I had to make a video on it because my girls, my ladies, my women, it needs to be talked about. And if you've read the title and you've looked at the thumbnail, you know this is about taking care of yourself so you don't become a hater. Now, I'm conflicted on this because, on one end, with the younger and experienced women and with my younger and experienced self, I feel like, poor baby, she doesn't know that all she has to do is put in the work, so she doesn't have to feel like she's jealous or someone or she's envious towards someone when they've done nothing to her. She doesn't even know why she feels this way. It's because you have to put in the work. And on the other end, I also feel like there are people that know they need to put in the work, but they still choose to be a hater and still choose to be bitter towards the people that are putting in the work. So I have empathy for those on the first end of it, but on the latter side, I have no empathy for you because you know what you need to do, but you still decide to spread jealousy and hate because you don't feel like doing the work. So, ladies, I want you to grab a cup of tea, or if you're at work right now, get your lunch or put your earpods in. And I want you to really enjoy this episode because I feel like all of us have been through this in some type of way, and maybe we've caught it early on before it got too out of hand, or maybe it actually did go there, it did get to that point, and we've reeled it back in. Now, this happens a lot with men and women, but since my content is geared toward women, the ladies, pretty girl, rich era, I'm going to be talking about the women. I can't really give you too much on the men. So, this is a perfect example. Have you ever been on an outing, whether it be a vacation, out to eat, a party, a gathering, and you really cannot even enjoy it because you're so focused on when I get back home, I gotta lock in. I gotta lose this weight because I'm out here feeling ashamed, a mess, not myself. And I'm out here around all these other people that are living their life. They're in the cute outfits. They look good. They're feeling good. They're outgoing. They're mingling. And it's because they look good. They take care of themselves, which allows them the courtesy of not being a hater. That is how you know it's time to lock in. That is how you know it's time to sit down with yourself, create a plan, and get the work done. Spring break is coming up. Summer is around the corner. Those trips, it's about to be time for those trips. It's about to be time for the festivals, the outings. You do not want to be walking around bitter, huffing and puffing, talking about everybody that passes you that look good or that's having fun because you haven't taken care of yourself and now you're out here looking a mess. Now you're out here feeling a mess. You don't even feel like you look good because you don't. You see this a lot in the workplace with older women who are walking around constantly huffing and puffing and complaining about something. And here you go, all bright and bubbly coming in. And it's like you annoy them so bad. Why? It's because they haven't taken care of themselves over the years. And now they're just a hater of anybody that feels good, especially anybody that is younger than them. They're a hater. Then you've got some older women that come in and they embrace you. They show you the ropes. They tell you some of the things on the job, that some of the perks that maybe, human resources doesn't tell you, like, okay, now at 3 o'clock, you can go over here and get you this and that for free. And maybe you can try to do this and that. They tell you the secrets on the job because they're welcoming and they're not a hater. They're not the old women that are sitting around huffing and puffing, mad about everything, mad about life, mad about how they feel, mad about how they look, mad about how people treat them. They're not those people. You've got to learn to forgive also. That is how you really got to let that go. I'm going to be frank with you. Learn to forgive and learn to let that stuff go. Because if you don't, you're going to take it with you all these years and it's going to make you ugly. It's going to make you fat. It's going to make you broke. It's going to make you insecure. And it's going to be a pain to be around you because you're carrying stuff that you should have been let go so you can live your life. One thing I've noticed is that when you start to do the work, you instantly, you just start forgiving people. You just start letting it go. When you hyper focus on yourself and on your goals, you instantly just start to let stuff go. You be like, man, I ain't even worried about it no more. I just know how to deal with them from here. I know to feed them from a long handle spoon. They can't sit at the table with me. Or you say, well, they're just cut off. I'm not worried about it. It'll come back on them. Karma will get them because you're working on yourself. You're doing stuff that you love. You're focused on yourself. You've got to stay busy with things you love and don't give all of that energy that you could be pouring into yourself, pouring into the things you love, pouring into trying new things, learning new hobbies, learning new skills. You could be giving all of that energy to that, but instead you're giving it to someone who you don't like because they're doing the work. They're doing the work on themselves, which makes you, it triggers you. It triggers your insecurities and it's making you a bitter hater. So you've got to stay busy with the things that you love and the things you're interested in. It will literally become draining to be around you if you don't build yourself up and you don't check yourself when you notice that you're doing it. That's with the older women that are in the workplace. See, they haven't checked themselves. They haven't said, wait a minute, it do kind of sound like I'm hating. It's okay to acknowledge that you on some hater because once you acknowledge it, you can fix it. You can be like, okay, so why is this happening? Why am I doing this? And then you can dig a little deeper and get to the root of the problem and change it before 30 years go by and you're a hater at the job place hating on the new young women that are coming in. You also need to spend time off social media in order to just really get with yourself and in order to just hyper focus on yourself and on your goals. Spend some time off social media. Whether it be every Friday at 5 p.m., you delete your social media, you're not on social media until Monday. Start with the weekends or start with Monday through Friday. You're not on social media. You're out living your life in the real world, handling your business. And then on the weekends, you maybe can get on and post what you're doing for the weekend or post some of your hobbies. That is how you take care of yourself so you don't become a hater. You got to you got to check yourself when you notice it. You got to start building yourself up and you've got to start spending time off social media and in the real life, in the real world, in your life. You've got to enjoy and take advantage of your youth. This is another one. You've got to take advantage of your youth. Utilize your youth so you're not bitter when you get older. So you're not huffing and puffing and moaning and groaning because you didn't do this when you were in your 20s or you didn't do this when you were in your 30s and now you're 50 and you're mad because the 30-year-olds who have kids also are going on vacation or the 30-year-olds who don't have any kids and don't want any kids are traveling the country. They're globetrotting and you're upset because when you were 30, you had a husband that you were hyper focused on instead of hyper focusing on yourself. And that husband was also out in these streets focused on somebody else who wasn't studying them. Your husband was focused on somebody who was focusing on their self and you was focusing on him. And that is why I always tell my ladies, I always tell my girls, occupy yourself all the time so you don't have to worry about what others are doing. It worked for me and I didn't even know I was doing it. I just had my calendar full. My weekly calendar, my daily calendar, my monthly. I had it full. And by the time I got home when it was time to rest and wind down, I didn't have the energy to try to get on social media and see what someone else was doing and hate on them. I didn't have the energy to chase a man. And usually a lot of women are haters because they're not taking care of themselves, and the women that are taking care of themselves, they are getting the attention from men and they don't even want that attention. They're focused on themselves. So, I mean, you just think about it. There are some girls that'll tell you they were jealous of girls who put the effort into themselves. They worked out, they did their skincare, they wore makeup, their hair was done. Until they started investing in themselves, it was so hard to not hate on those girls. When you focus on self improvement and self mastery, you don't have time to hate on others or be envious of others. In fact, you'll start seeing others as inspiration and motivation to stay consistent and locked in with yourself. If you do not love yourself enough, you're going to start hating people that do love themselves, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. Even if you have kids, you have to be so obsessed with yourself. If you're obsessed with yourself as a woman, as a mother, that is going to trickle down to your kids, and they're going to have the best life they can possibly have because you're focused on yourself. And if you improve yourself, it's going to, of course, that energy is going to transfer to your kids. I really want you, this is when I say you need to have a full life. I want you to be so full of life that you don't have time or the energy to waste on being jealous or envious of someone else. And you need to make sure you're full of life mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and socially. Have different friend groups. Learn how to be alone and learn how to enjoy spending time with yourself. Self development is going to be very important for this to work. And when you catch yourself being envious of another woman or another person, that should be the motivation that you need to raise your standards, to become a higher version of yourself, become what you want, because what you see in them, it also can exist in you. You should not be out here putting others down just because you feel lower than them. You need to raise your vibrations. Quick pause before we finish up the video. The reason this content hits is because it's not just motivational, it's clarity. It's giving you permission to choose yourself. Permission to just stop settling and to become the woman you already feel yourself growing into. And I know transformation can feel overwhelming when you're trying to do it alone. That's why I created tools to help you do this intentionally, not just emotionally. I need you to do it physically in real life and not just on paper. I've created journals and glow up resources designed to help you rebuild your mindset, your discipline, your confidence, and your self trust. Not to change who you are, but to return to yourself and elevate, to return to center. I've created journals to help you get through some of the toughest times of your life and of your journey. If this video is speaking to you, just know there's more support waiting for you when you're ready to take that next step. Now let's get back into the video. There are some people walking around here that can tell you all their life they've been hated on by so many people for no reason, and they're the most genuine people they could be. It's the most genuine person you can meet. But they got to know that it's those people projecting their insecurities, which is why they're hating. It's not you. It's the people around you that are projecting their insecurities. And that's why when they tell you when you make it out the hood, don't go back, that's a prime example of why. Because people will try to sabotage you because they don't take care of themselves. So they become haters. Self-love. I'm going to tell you, self-love got me so obsessed with myself that I don't even be noticing other people anymore. I don't notice them. You need to be too. You need to be so invested in yourself that you don't have time to worry about the next person. And I guarantee you, if you compare yourself to who you were yesterday, and not other people, you'll automatically win. I'm telling you, be in competition with yourself. Be in competition with yourself from last month. That's what I'm doing. I went to walk about 5 to 6 times last month, and I am very upset with myself. I did not realize I walked that little. Out of 31 days, I only walked 5 to 6. Well, that's what I have documented. There may be some days that I didn't walk. I did walk, but I didn't document it. So it doesn't count. This month in February, I've already beat that. You've got to be in competition with yourself. If this video helped you in any way, I want you to know this content comes from a very real place. I am so passionate about this because I've been there. And now that I know the sauce, I know the recipe to come out of anything you're going through. Not anything, because I haven't been through everything. But I know the sauce to come out of a lot of stuff that goes on in your 20s. I can tell you that much. And a lot of stuff women go through in general. I don't make these videos just to speak on it. I make them because I genuinely care about women choosing themselves and healing from traumas and hurt and betrayal and becoming who they're meant to be. I know what it feels like to be in a season where you're trying to figure yourself out quietly. You don't want to cause too much attention. You don't want an uproar. I know what it feels like to outgrow people and to rebuild your confidence. I'm literally still rebuilding my confidence as I make these videos. To want more for your life but not always know where to start, I know how that feels. That's why this space exists. I get information from you all as well in the comments. That's why I pour into this content. And that's why I've created tools to support you beyond the screen, so you're not doing this alone. If this resonated with you, stay connected. There's more coming, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be. This is PrettyGirlRichEra, evolving into womanhood, where we heal, level up, and become the best version of ourselves. I'll see you in the next one.